G'day everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be featuring the Russian Tier 9 X-Steel DD, soon to be Coal DD, the Neustrashimy. So, the Neustrashimy is a fascinating little DD, a very healthy slug of health, good torpedoes. The guns are 4 Grozovoi guns, so on the one hand, you do have 4 Grozovoi guns, which fire very fast, they go very straight, deal good damage, but on the flip side there's only 4 of them, so you need a little bit more time to deal spam damage compared to a Grozovoi or a Gearing or something. But the ballistics are very good. The torpedoes are good on this ship. You've got, I think it's 8 or 10, I'm not quite sure, torpedoes, and they deal 18,000 damage, 65 not so solid torpedoes. And of course you have a monstrous heal that heals for 20 seconds, 1.5% of your HP. So you can, with the heal flag, you can heal like 35% of your life, which we will see in this game. It's an enormous heal, which allows you to do things that DDs normally wouldn't be able to do, like engage and re-engage. So, let's have a look at this game. Oh, and 5.6 concealment, which is very impressive. Now, I went to the cap in front of me. I believe all DDs should do that, either to cap or to scout, and I spot the Alaska to my left. So instead of going around the cap as I would have liked to, I turn inside to stay out of radar range and spot the Bliskovita. I immediately start shooting. I can repair, he can't, so every pop of damage is free damage. I'm only shooting with the rear gun, but it doesn't matter. Any damage on him is permanent. There goes a fire. And we just keep on blasting away. We're kind of well protected behind this island, and I keep on shooting. As I've said many times, DD HP is the most important currency in a World of Warships game, especially in randoms. So we've got half of his life. We've taken some damage, but you can see we could heal a lot of it up. Not that we're going to heal yet. I'm radared. That's that Donskoy over there. I'm well protected by these islands, he can't really hurt us, and we're going to get back to work on this Bliska. Blasting away, some more hits, look at that reload, they reload quite fast, these guns. I broke his engine, and we got a detonation, but I think he was going to die anyway, would have been a kill. So, we're capping. The Donskoy has radar, so we have a window of opportunity here. I fire off my torps. You can see one set, so it's 10 torpedoes, 5 and 5, quite a broadside. So those torps aren't really intended to hit him unless he YOLOs us. They're kind of stay away from me torps while we cap. 23 seconds, we've beaten our man here, our DD. And we almost have the cap. Now, this is one of the most important decisions that a DD player is faced with every game. What do you do after you have taken your cap and beaten the DD who was opposite you? You have a few choices. You could move to a contested cap to help your team. You could move in the direction of an enemy DD to counter him. Or as I'm doing this game, you can move to where there are a lot of enemy ships and they are pushing to help your teammates with either gunnery and or torpedoes, depending on your DD. Neustrashimy can do both. Now, see how much damage that AP does. That's Russian AP. So when a ship is showing you broadside, at almost any range, if you aim high for the upper belt and superstructure, you can just use AP and get consistent damage. That Alaska has run away, so there's no danger of radar. We've dropped off. The Donskoy is still there. He could radar us, so we're going to kind of move towards this Jean Bart. we have the two caps. We're slightly ahead. I hope our A team does well. If we just can hold this, it should be a win over time. But in randoms, players can rarely hold on to caps and their ship. So there goes our first ship in Alaska. Yet another loss. And we're going to advance here. That Jean Bart is kind of reversing. So I'm not going to torpedo at this range. If he's reversing at full speed, his reverse speed is like 14 knots or 16 knots if he's running engine boost. So he's actually going to increase the range so much our torpedoes won't hit him. So I'm going to wait till we get a little closer before I drop the torps. 7 kilometers, 7.3 is enough. So we lost 2 ships. York was on our flank, I believe. Anyway, the torpedoes are off, and here we have Alaska flashing us our broadside. So we're quite healthy. The Alaska doesn't have a monstrous rate of fire, so we're going to start blasting away to get damage. And this smoke is kind of precautionary to force him to radar, so I know when he has radared. Look at that AP, it seems to be working well. Plinking away for about 1,000 damage per salvo every 3 seconds. That was 2,000 damage. There's the radar we were all waiting for. We reverse, so he completely missed. A torpedo hit on the Jean Bart. And now we can start maneuvering. We no longer need the smoke, so we're not going to sit in the smoke and allow him to hit us. We're going to juke around to make it harder for him to hit us. Oh, that was a tasty salvo. So he's angling, so we switch to HE and just spam, spam, spam. We have that heal, so we can kind of trade life. He's not going to deal that much damage to us. The shells are quite slow, so we can just reactively dodge a lot of the shots. Now that Jean Bart is almost there, but I'm going to fire a few more shots because random teams do have an unfortunate tendency to not finish off damaged ships. I don't want him to reverse away, heal. Will be a bigger problem. A few more shots on the Alaska, all the while monitoring the HP of that Jean Bart, ready to switch to him if necessary. With a bit of luck, we should get both of these ships pretty soon. We are now 3 ships down. We are losing a cap. Our team there lost some ships quite quickly, so they're on the retreat. Only a Nagato left. Our team was able to finish off the Jean Bart while I keep spamming this Alaska. Now you can see we get consistent damage, but only 4 guns does hold our DPM potential back. So you need more time to deal damage compared to, say, Grozovoy, which has monstrous DPM, especially with the legendary module. We'll do a video with the Grozovoy one of these days. The Alaska is almost down. As you can see, I'm playing advanced firing training because the ballistics are so good. It just gives you an extra tool to spam ships to be able to deal damage out to about 14 or 15 kilometers. The ballistics are so good, your shells, as you can see, go quite straight in a flattish arc. Now, as you see, I didn't chase the Alaska to the edge of the map. The battle isn't over. And I'm going to be needed at our home cap, as the enemy are going to push that way once they've dealt with Nagato. Our team is able to finish the Alaska, the Gascoigne goes down. Shooting at this Monarch, hopefully he's going to die, and down he goes. As you can see, this battle is still far from over. I asked my teammates over there to move to the enemy home cap, while I will head to our home cap and try to head them off. BB Vladivostok is moving up in the middle. We only have 2 ships there, and the Rune is on its way, and they still have Yugumo. What am I saying there? Can anyone hit, I mean, the Donskoy? Because that's the only ship that can really threaten me. Down goes the Nagato. So we're 2 ships down, and all to fight for.
Engine boost
Heading towards A. Now, Neustrashimy does not have any way of easily detecting torpedoes. So some people argue that it's hard to dodge torpedoes. Well, it is a slightly unwieldy ship. I run the rudder shift. I love my rudder shift. So you need to kind of proactively dodge torpedoes. If you try to dodge them the moment you see them, well, many times it's going to be quite late. There's the Yugumo. I immediately switch to him. He has to die quickly. Jean-Bart is able to kill their Helena, so it's not all gloom and doom. I fire some, getting ready to fire some torpedoes at that Vladivostok. But that Helena is turning into my arc, so I'm not going to drop the torpedoes. Don't do that. Rune, sorry. If you have a friendly very close to you, don't fire torpedoes. They might turn to brawl, they might go for a ram, they might go for a drive-by. You don't want to be a team killer. If anything, it's going to get you reports and get you all pink. So I'm going to fire some torpedoes at this Vladivostok now that it's clear. A bit of a spread. You want to spread a little bit ahead of the white indicator line and a little bit behind the indicator line. Well, lucky he isn't shooting at us, so we're going to start shooting at him. See that damage, 3000 with AP into his superstructure. Again and again and again, we're getting this consistent AP damage. So if it's a flat broadside, you can just use your guns, your AP. And, oh, sorry, that was the Donskoy, wrong ship. It looks like the Vladivostok, but he's down, whatever he was. Putting some rounds into this Vladivostok, he's almost dead. Okay, so I was shooting at a cruiser with the AP, but you saw just how much damage it caused. He's almost down, he's burning, but he might be playing Kuznetsov or something tricky, so we've got to keep on shooting at him. You see he's healing, we cannot leave him like that. We don't want him to heal and cause more problems. There's a fire. I think he just repaired his fire, so that will probably kill him, but you've got to keep it up. Even just one extra salvo in a close game like this can change the game. So more hits, more hits, more hits. He's burning down, and down he goes. Now, the Yugumo fired his torpedoes earlier. He didn't hit us. So I'm going to advance. We're out of smoke. Let's see, this Nizer now is here. I've got 20 seconds before torpedoes. He's not shooting at us. We still have 2 heals, and you can see we're still quite healthy. Only used 1 heal. The ship is still quite alive and kicking. So there are the torpedoes. We turn as fast as we can. It's important to keep moving. Try not to be predictable with your movements, even if you can't see the enemy DD. Now here, the most important target is the Yugumo. Though the Nizer now has less life, the Yugumo has to die quickly. We're within his detection range, so he's not going to drop off. I use my heal, and look at that, it's a solid 25% of my HP, very big heal. I keep on shooting the DD, and he seems to have run into the Nizer now. Well, somebody's going to get a report there. So he's much easier to hit. I fire some torpedoes in the general direction of the Nizer now, and keep blasting away at that Yugumo. The DD must die. Once he's dead, I can control the flow of the game, even at this late stage. His engine is disabled, so he's quite a sitting duck. Just shoot, shoot, and shoot at him. There we go. He's almost down, proactively dodging. Oh, what a shame, the Nizer now dodged every torpedo. Down goes the Yugumo, and we switch to the Nizer now. So there's that information. He's not shooting at us. He's quite low HP, so we should be able to farm him. He's kind of decided that I'm too tricksy a target. Oh, there are the guns. Turn, turn, turn. We don't want to take a big hit. I'm showing him just a very small profile, and we just keep on shooting at him. You see, he can't decide what to shoot at. The easier BB or the small DD, and he dies in the process. And all we have left is the Leon, so it's pretty much a wrap. We have 3 ships, they have 1, 2 caps to 2 caps, and we have a Jean-Bart which should be able to easily outdamage Leon. We'll head towards him to help him as much as we can. We still have one here left. So you can see I've taken 700 potential damage, 700,000 potential damage, which isn't huge, but it's still not bad for DD, and I'm still quite hale and healthy. I just used my last repair just in case he gets a lucky shot on us. And here I think the technical term is to pull a Notza, which is to just derp into terrain, which I think is common amongst YouTubers, it seems. So I am not able to top, though I want the Jean Bart. So I just switch to AP and start shooting. He's not going to be able to kill me before we kill him. And even if he does, the Jean Bart will be able to kill him, even if he just has to ram him. So we shoot into his side, we get a little bit of damage, but he's pretty much done. Jean Bart has very good forward firepower. So it's a good job and a good game at this stage. And there we go. So just pay attention to how I maneuvered. The decisions to where to go are very important in DDs. You don't chase enemies to the edge of the map. After your first cap, think hard about where you should go. It's a very important decision. Use your guns if they're any good. Even if they're not good, it's more consistent damage than torpedoes. So close range, just use those guns. Drop torpedoes as late as you can to ensure hits. Don't be the first to use torpedoes in a gunfight because the enemy will just shoot you down in a DD versus DD knife fight. So I got the survivability badge, first place, 90,000 damage, one cap, some torpedo hits, some gun hits, some fires. And here's the build, a typical DD build, but we also have AFT because the gun's quite flat arcs, so it's a good choice. Otherwise, the modules are what you would expect. So thank you and see you next time.